Killing Raid, Cup coming? I'm very confused. Is it on now? Oh well, that's supposedly working. Bum bum bum. This Swedish. This game has the most random factions. Okay. Roger. Boof. Clan. Parties. Order. Kingdom. No cock. Can I switch? I was thinking more, have a look at other political parties. Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. Oh my god. Tiger, 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 tiger. Bub, 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 bub. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, look at that beautiful head off me. Sexy man. Uah. Mm-hmm. Bum, bum, bum. Not an Irish faction per se, a Celtic faction. Because this is like semi based on Europe. So like, actually even just moved the map slightly. So instead you have Norway, what was it, Sweden, then you have randomly plucked in here like three Roman based, this was high Middle Ages Roman groups. I know that's meant to be the Western, and this is meant to be the Eastern, I'm sure. I'm not sure what this one's meant to be based on, but it exists. Maybe the Holy Roman Empire, maybe. Then we have England and France, which is kind of merged into one. Then we have the Caliphate, which are the Egyptians and the Moors and all of them all mushed into one. And then we have the Mongolians and the Turks mushed into one as well. And the Tatars as well. And the Cumans and the Hungarians and all that just mushed into one. So basically all the nomad groups are mushed into one. All of the Muslims are mushed into one. The Roman Empire is there. What's left of the Roman Empire going into the medieval world. Then you have the Celtic factions, well, the Gaelic factions, which is Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and what else are we looking at? Britannia, or was it Brittany? All them mushed into one. And England, France. Then we have Sweden. Sweden gets its own thing going on here, like, do you know? And then you have the Norwegian faction as well in here. Norway. Which I wouldn't mind, but what was it called? The Isles are just having its own thing going on here as well, like, do you know? But it is what it is. And it's so weird to have, I suppose if you jump on a boat, it's not too far. Sweden is just right on top of the Celtic factions, instead of having Norway on top of the Celtic factions, which would make more sense, but Fun stuff. Who else is in here? It's interesting because it gives it room to expand into the African factions, like Mali, for example, and stuff. The golden factions, and then Ethiopia perhaps later on. And who else could we have in here? India, all the Indian factions could probably exist later on. And China, Japan, they have room on the map, so they could expand. Hopefully they do. I wouldn't mind seeing massive expansions in here. I'll probably have an African DLC next, which will probably annoy people because, you know, political problems. But we'll see. Or they'll probably have an Asian faction because Asia is making a lot of money right now. Asia is very popular right now. But we will see. And do you know what? Oh, I'm at war with all of them. I'll just pop up back up to the border again. I'm so far away from home, like what the hell? Actually, no, I'll drop some of them. I don't have the money for this kind of stuff. You've left me very poor. This whole stupid campaign. See if I can just pop into this thing.
I suppose you should tell me your name.
Oh, right. And there's no campaign on now. I'll just make my way up to Sweden and there's still nothing going on. Recruit. I literally have 50 quid. Looters. I recognize this game now. Tried to play it so many times, but just got lost every time. Isn't that not the plan? Get lost? Which strategy? Do you play any strategy warfare games? Do you know what? Who are these looters? I'll just fight the looters. Looters. Go on, boys. We can do it.
Form a line!
Engage with this position. Maybe I should wait for my HP to go up a wee bit. One thing I find annoying about reenactments or Gaelic attire isn't represented enough. Everyone is dressed in Norse. Pop 1 second. Norse, and that is okay for early between 7. Yeah. Is very, very true. What you're saying is bang on, like. Caveman. Yeah, and I've been thinking the same thing as well. Shit. I think Dacia are not doing a bad job though. But I think it's because most people just start off and then they're kind of good. Once I think it really comes down to Viking reenactment. Once people have the base kit, they're kind of content. Oh, that's what I need to get as well as a shield. So yeah, I knew you three guys could do it. Now, Where's the
Advance!
Yeah, that'll do. I'm gonna get knocked out by just bloody stones. There. There, go. They're good boys. It does have its own multiplayer thing on the go.
We showed
Ho-ho.
them!
Yo-ho. I just downloaded War Sales. I love the C rating, but the disadvantage...
No!
Oh, really?
They will remember this!
Bum bum. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. But I can see why mods would fix so much. Because there's certain things like I went up to your one there and I was expecting, you know what you can do in the mods now for Molten Blade, as in you could just join, and once you're part of the faction and stuff, you could pretty much just join any warband you want, and you can't in this. Like as an individual, you just can't go up to that warband and say, "Oh, can I join your warband?" You know, especially when you're in the same faction, it's kind of strange. Wait, Jim O'Neill said something. Then he disappeared. Bum, 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 bum. Did I have one fella get killed? Why is our main city so far away? It says increased. Is that a good thing or a bad? I'm pretty sure if a number goes down lower, it's a bad thing, isn't it? I'll make my way over to the SCAF, and then I'll just leave the faction because I'm sick of being a mercenary for them. I'll rest here for a few days, unless they actually do so. Ooh, actually, maybe I should stay with them. Trade has been booming and prices and wages have been going up. The workers at your wine press have taken notice, and your... Oh wait, was that money from my wine press? Maybe it was. And your superiors report that they have refused to come into work until you receive... I haven't gotten any of this bloody money. I've been going around poor. What the fuck? But yeah, sure, whoever's pocketing my money. Make sure you give out that money properly. Fired a lot of them. No. I won't be firing anyone. Yeah, just give them a good wage. There you go. I'm assuming that was the money I got in from my trade. It must have been, because I don't think I was getting paid that much as a mercenary. Bannerlord is an Unreal game and doesn't want to go break. I thought the was it Thrones of Britannia was good when you modded it. I think the default game annoyed me because villages had it made no sense because villages in the game couldn't raise a warband to defend the village against a Viking raid. So you had Vikings just walking in and taking settlements with no resistance. That made no sense. When they modded that for every settlement to have its own warband, it made more sense. It was just, and it used to annoy the crap out of me because you'd be wiping out one faction, and then another faction behind you, would declare war and just wipe out half of your map, and you're just like, the hell? Yeah, that game really annoyed me when it wasn't modded. The moment it was modded, it was good. But the problem is there wasn't enough modders to go around the place. So even a lot of other fixes didn't even get done. You know, there was still so much I wanted to see done in that game. So much for Thrones of Britannia, like. It was good, like, but so much potential. And I couldn't wait for that game to come out, and I couldn't wait to get, modding community to blow up. And I really thought the modding community would blow up and keep that game alive. I was so disappointed when it didn't, you know. What was the object of this game? Just to live in the medieval world. For me, personally, it's just going around being a warband, which I like doing, you know. It's my number one thing. It's why I love the medieval world so much. I just love the study of war bands, especially. I'm very biased. Like I love the study of Irish war bands. Although I do love the medieval era full stop. Like I last night was studying Japanese history, and I just found the evolution of the oh my god, the Yamato so interesting. Like how they went from, because like in other places, people take over by having the biggest stick. Do you know what I mean? Being the biggest and scariest warband. But Japan is very interesting because they expanded out with the Yamato, who brought in a system of, being the cool gang. Do you want to be in the cool gang? Do you know? And so because of that, you had clans who had like technology, like better farming technology and other stuff that they had brought onto the island, who would want to offer and bring that stuff to the Yamato and join the Yamato confederation of clans so they could be a part of the cool gang, which is so interesting because it makes sense that that would be a part of it and everything, but it's so kind of Japanese and unique from what I've seen in other places, where other places are, you do what I say because I have the biggest military. That the Yamato expanded because it was the cool kid club, you know? It's so unique. I'm organizing a Viking event in Sligo. Just Sligo one. Are you doing the big, massive one? There was a settlement found. Because I know Paul... No, you're not organizing the big, massive one, though, are you? With Paul? Or is it a separate one again, like? Drones of Britannia with the mod drones. Reforged is unreal. It adds nobles, peasants, foreign, and clergy classes. Highly recommend. I'll have to have a look at that one for sure, and then bitch about it. I always look at the mods and have a good old stare at it for half an hour, and then I did a video on that. 4 years, was it 2 or 3 years ago, on one of the mods for Attila, I think, and it boomed. It was really, really popular. People wanted to see more of it, but then these days the algorithm went really bad. Because I don't mind making endless amount of videos of that, but the algorithm won't push it anymore because the algorithm has agendas. Let me see. I'm going to trade. Done. It's separate one, did not. Yeah, you have the one that Paul is organizing? Isn't this am I wrong? I am wrong. Sorry, my brain is confuddled. I'm thinking of wrong events altogether. I'm thinking about events more on the bloody eastern side of Ireland. No, you're right. There is no event in Sligo right now. I'd love to do the one in Sligo, just because my mum is originally from Sligo. Give me an excuse to put together a more Sligo kit or something. Look into Sligo history. How far practice Japanese history? Actually, they have like super early and super advanced Bronze Age stuff. So archaeological wise, their history goes way back, just like in Ireland. But what was it called? Their written history only really starts from 70 BC, but they do what we do as well, and they push it back. So a lot of it doesn't get documented until around the same time as us, like it's crazy, until around 600 AD. But then you get little fragments, which gives us a slight indication that they may have been writing stuff down before that, but those don't survive. What you have is copies of that from 600 AD. So, and the earliest copy seems to be from around 70 BC. And there already seems to be changes in the understanding of how the system works in Japan in 70 BC. But they can push back their history all the way up to, you know, around 3000 BC, if not back further, with their Bronze Age history. And their Bronze Age history is mind-blowing. But what we know just comes from Bronze Age finds and stuff, from my understanding. From somebody who's not qualified. We used to have one in Loud. Apparently that's where the first Vikings landed in Ireland, a place called... Is that just random Vikings, or, you know, a Viking warband, a random one, or was that the Turgis's lot? Bum bum bum. Oh yeah. 841. Let me have a quick gawk at that one. Established a long port. I'm just having a quick gawk at that one. And then it recommends my own video. AI, you're so funny. Yeah, it was by Turgis. He gets beaten by Mel Shocknell. It says that as well. The Longfort was in Longduckle. Is first mentioned in the annals of Irish annals. It doesn't say which one though. I'm assuming the Ulster annals in 840 by Turgis, as he was called in the annals. Is said to have funded Dublin. Oh, and this one as well. From which the surrounding territories and church were plundered and destroyed. Turgis was a colourful figure. No, that was random. He apparently brought the north of Ireland under his rule, which he didn't do. What? He lost to the Ullid. How could he bring them under his rule? Where did you get that? And it's not even sourced. Somebody writes in Wikipedia, this Turgis was a colourful character. He apparently brought the north of Ireland under his rule. Where is that sourced from? There's no source in this. And his wife was a high altar. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Clonmacnoise, the attack on Clonmacnoise. But then straight away he gets a reprisal attack in 843 by Mael Shocknell, where he's drowned. So even in that, like, funny, but he doesn't beat, like, that's false information. He doesn't beat the Ullid. He can't beat the Ullid. The Ullid beat him. And then he goes, like, it's true he went down and raided Clonmacnoise. We also, when they say he raided Clonmacnoise, did he penetrate the walls of Clonmacnoise or just burn the surrounding area of Clonmacnoise? And we assume he did get inside because his wife was allegedly desecrated the high altar in Clonmacnoise. But regardless, Mael Shocknell then captures him in 843, and Mael Shocknell I, the High King of Ireland, captures him in 843 and drowns him. So that's funny. I should actually close off. I'm fundraising, building a Viking settlement near the original. Oh my god, that would be absolutely amazing. Here, keep me fully updated with that one, man, and I'll advertise that as much as possible. Man, I have to get, when I get back to Ireland, I have to get fully involved with all that stuff. That sounds absolutely amazing. Sounds very interesting and cool. Yeah, man. Isn't it amazing, Jim? This was class, alright. Ooh, aye, give us the old like. Somebody wrote down, give us a like, hit the like button, and he got banned off YouTube. What the hell? YouTube is literally, his feelings are hurt by everything. But yeah, thanks man for saying that until YouTube banned you. And Turgis was drowned in the river by the Irish. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why. Why do they always think that Turgis is like overpowered or something? The Nail Confederation had a force under Mael Shocknell I of allegedly 8,000 men, where Turgis had a force of 120. The reason why Turgis was so effective early on was because of the fact his military was very fast and very small. So he was able to get by the time any of the forces in the Ullid and the Enel had raised their banner to go and fight Turkus. He was already gone. That's why Mael Shocknall I had to set an ambush to capture him, which he did. Dum dum dum. Maybe someone copied and pasted it off the historical. I know, right? Most of the Viking raids didn't end well, and the Irish won way more battles and raids. Undefeated church is a lot. Yeah. But the Irish, what was it? It was what was it called? Professor Damien Bracken in the University of Cork had proven, he sat down and counted every single attack in the Annals of Ulster and other Irish annals, and he had proven that during the fighting between Philmiv MacCrivcon, the King of Munster, and also eventually becomes King of Ireland, and the fighting with Mael Shocknall I, who was also High King of the Confederation of the Enel, basically King of Ireland. He himself also had ended up burning more churches than the Vikings did because of the fighting between the Enel Confederation and the men of Munster at the time over the kingship of Ireland. How would they communicate? I mean, Old Irish and the Vikings, like what language would they be? That's very, very fascinating when we read the story Olaf the Peacock. In it is a boy that is born in Iceland, and his mother raises him to be very Irish. And from a modern interpretation today, we would refer to him, Olaf the Peacock, as a Hiberno-Scandinavian, an Irish Viking. And that's fascinating because his mother makes him and dresses him as an Irish boy in Enel clothing, right? So he's basically overall got a mixture of both Norse clothing and he's got a mixture of Irish clothing. When he becomes an adult, he wants to go to Ireland to see his family because his mother was a princess to the Enel Confederation. Well, the big mass of confederation of clans, well, king groups to it. And so he goes to Ireland to go see his family. And he raises a war band. The war band is a mixture of Icelanders and Norwegians. And then obviously when he gets to Ireland, it starts to mix up with the Irish as well. So ultimately he ends up with a very Hiberno-Scandinavian war band. And he joins the Enel Confederation with his father. And what was it called? Because his father now is pushing to be High King and stuff. I don't know what the legit, the full story is, because the problem is you're getting it from an Icelandic interpretation where they call everyone the King of the Irish and stuff. So you don't really get the full picture. But regardless, when he first goes to Ireland, they by default start to attack his war bands, right? And when Olaf the Peacock comes out and he screams in Old Irish, stop, 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 the Irish they stop attacking him. And they're shocked at how good his Irish is because they assumed they were Norse. So it shows by default, if you aren't doing what you were supposed to be doing and you go into someone else's territory, by default they will attack you. The Irish, and that's in the 10th century. Well, this story is set in the 10th century. Very, very interesting. Then if you dress Norwegian, they assume that you speak Norse and you won't have any form of communication with them, and they will attack you. So language definitely is a sphere here. The Hiberno-Scandinavians, the men of Dublin, do speak Irish, okay? They learn Irish from their mother, or in some cases their father. And they do communicate and they do dress. If you read Olaf the Peacock, it does indicate that the Hiberno-Scandinavians have their own unique dress and clothing, separate from the Norwegians and the Icelanders. So the Gael of the Enel can tell the difference between the men of Dublin, and they can tell the difference between what was it called? The Norwegians and Icelanders, the Norse. So that's a brilliant question, and you should definitely read all of the Peacock to get your own interpretation of all that for sure. But I want to go up to the tavern and see if any of my party are up there. Keep going to tavern. Nope, but I can ransom. Bam 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 bam. The Norse Gales. Yeah. Yeah, I actually 100% support that as well, Caveman. That it gets highlighted way more because of that panic that they are heathens. That's definitely something that gets highlighted over and over again. The heathens did this and the heathens do that. Like when they build their fort, the clergy are automatically panicking. The heathens are picking their nose, do you know? Bum bum bum. Let me get me some tartan. Tartan. Brodar E. Emer was king from 878, and yes, Philip's 100% right. They dressed Gaelic and spoke Gaelic, but lived like Norse in urban areas, trading and raiding. Yeah, 100%. They're more city. Like, should we look at it from the perspective of Cork, Dublin, Waterford, Limerick being of the city people, and the Gael, the native Gaelic, being the country people, I know it somewhat simplifies it a bit too much, but at the same time, it's not the same as England and France, where it's like civilized city people against, peasant country people. There seems to be a different relationship going on for sure, but it still is, this is city people, this is country people, and that the city people, we as modern people, we should be looking at it from the cities are still Irish, do you know? Is that the way we should be looking at it from a modern perspective? Because I think, especially when we apply nationalism, our cities automatically don't become Irish anymore from a nationalist perspective, from a modern nationalist perspective when we look at it. I know it's complicated and weird to say, but the amount of times when we look at our history now and we look at the cities, we look at our cities as foreign, and we look at the nationalist history of Ireland as the countryside is real Ireland, which at the same time it is, but we isolate our cities so much when looking at the medieval period that we talk of them like they're, Viking, and it's 200 years of Viking occupation. And then when the English come, it's British, and it's 800 years of British occupation in the cities, when it's actually much more complicated than that. Where did you study Irish medieval history? I am qualified, first and foremost, from University College of Cork. I did my qualification there for a good few years, and then once I was qualified enough, I jumped over and did tourism, because my plan was always to work on the tourist side of things, and I was qualified. Who did I get my qualification with again? I have a qualification in tourism. Like, I'm trying to think now. I remember my instructor, but I can't remember the actual name of the course. But I am a qualified tour guide, like a proper full-on qualified tour guide, with the fancy badge and everything, like, that I should be wearing when I do tours. But it's somewhere in my mom and dad's house. And I'm not even in Ireland anymore, because although I was making good money from tourism, the coronavirus came in, which left me in poverty. So myself and my wife had to immigrate out to Asia for work. And people keep asking me, when am I going to go home? No home. As of right now, it's a mixture of lack of money and no home to go back to. But when it comes down to accommodation, but then on top of that, I make so little out in Asia that although I can survive really comfortable out here in Asia on the money I'm making, if I was to go back to Ireland now, I wouldn't have enough money for food, do you know? Because of the balance that's here, like. And it's very annoying that there's so many Irish people living abroad, and now the European Union is just outright just ignoring us, and it's just like, we're going to get Indians to replace you. Is that okay? No. Bum bum. Their names were Gaul, Gael, foreign Irish. They were counted as Irish but recognised as Norse heritage. Yeah, fact. Ireland is a bad place. Won't even lie. What do you mean by that? Irish is amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, it's enough of talk like that. We'll get back to the medieval era. Yeah. These days, I say just go to Asia. Get yourself a nice Asian wife and settle down, make a lot of money, and then go back, maybe. Set up a business. I get my knowledge from Claire. Her books are absolutely amazing. The Viking, what is it? Because it's one of my favourite books of all time. Is on Claire Downham's Viking. What was it? Oh. I go on, and Claire Downham is actually quoting from the Living History lads down in Craganoan. Yeah, I remember that. I was at those events in Craganoan. Viking Kings of Britain and Ireland, a dynasty of Ivor to AD 1014 by Claire Downham. That's the book. And she's actually Clare County. Craganoan. Was she involved with Craganoan? Give me just a second there. Oh, maybe I'm mistaken because the two of them popped up together. Yeah, I'm probably mistaken. I was getting overexcited there. It's like, Claire Downham is working with Craganoan? Oh my god. Which they should do. I have a Japanese table that was a wedding gift from my... Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they love gift giving over here, don't they? This is the Irish Skyrim. Yeah, it's better. It's better. It's better. It's better. I actually prefer Bannerlord over Skyrim. Right. We don't need to go that way, though. Actually. I probably actually will to get more recruits. That's so dodgy. Oh, but I can join up with them. If he's going over to raid them. Oh. Ah, they already wiped out. You know what, I'll actually leave them. I suppose I can't go into the keep, can I? Oh, I can actually. Is there a tournament on? I should play more historical games. Only games I've played lately are Deep Rock. Is that any good? That sounds interesting, alright. Go into the keep. Deep Rock is fun as hell. Yeah, it sounds so alright.
Who are you and what do you want?
All right, that's grand. I left as a mercenary. I was kind of getting sick of being in our group.
Who are you, and what do you want?
I want to be in my gang, my gang, my gang. Do you want to be in my gang? Oh, no, no. The Iraq is fun as hell. It sounds like it. Is it a strategy warfare game, is it?
I don't know you.
I don't know you. Great sound effect. Good graphics. You mind the ground are different. Bum 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 bum. See, that's the kind of game I like. I love games where you
Pardon? I did
they,
not
they
catch
need
your
to
name.
build more military games where you can build a settlement and then defend it at various times, and then you can go out and take stuff. Metal Gear Solid was trying
Next,
do that kind
please.
of stuff, but they kind of messed it up. And then I played a bit of that kind of style in Far Cry as well, and bloody hell, I loved it. Building up the settlement, and then the settlement gets attacked, and then you have to go out and raid stuff as well. I love it, like.
Well, and what do we have
Oh,
here?
yeah. I love that stuff.
I don't know you. I suppose you should tell me your name.
I wish they'd replaced this faction with the Holy Roman Empire. I wish they had. Ooh, man, thanks for that. Was there a punk scene in Ireland? If so, do you have any recommendation? Also, glad to see. Oh, right, 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 right. Are you talking about the punk scene during the 70s? Because the only YouTuber I know about that one, because obviously I cover Irish medieval history. Got Irish people who wouldn't know about that one because there is a YouTube channel that specializes in the alt. There, Random Got Couple is the only group I know, and Claire, what was it? Claire Raw. I'm gonna get her spelling there. She specializes more in the emo scene. If she doesn't get cranky, it's called. I'll put it that one. That's her channel, and she specializes in the emo scene. If she doesn't get cranky. She's grand. She's actually really, really super sound. But obviously, she's got her moments where she's a bit cranky. Especially by the way people wind her up. And then the other one is Random Got Couple, might know. Because obviously, that's way over my field of expertise. Don't get me wrong, really, really super interested in the punk scene in the 70s. But I think Clara Rar would know. But she's very big, and Random Got Couple would know way more as well. Would know even more, to be honest with you. If the like of rock and roll, I recommend Tin Lizzy. Tin Lizzy is so good. Love Tin Lizzy as well. I love Skyrim. Probably my favorite. Dublin had heavy punk scene, and we have a great movie. It's called. Oh, really? I'm gonna check that out now, actually. You see, I'm down in Cork, down in Mallow. Mallow was alright, like. Do I know that? I'm sure I know that movie. Yeah, now I remember it. My mother loved that movie as well. The Old Commitments. Ah, the good old days, huh? Oh yeah, I've met them twice, but sure, you've probably done a show or something with them at this stage, because they're constantly taking reenactors from the Slavic groups and also from yeah, it's mostly Slavic lads are in with them a lot of the time. Bum bum bum. Oh, you're more than welcome. I did not know they did a what was it? Collab with Shane. But Shane is so hands on, isn't he? Like, phone buzzing away. 1 second, have an old gawk at the phone and see what it's buzzing about. Probably people complaining again. Alright. Okay, roger. No, I just had a text in there from the lads saying about a shield, a round shield from the 14th, 15th century. Somebody had seen a photo allegedly from the Hundred Years' War of Kerns in France, but there is a record of the Irish fighting in France during the Hundred Years' War, but we haven't found anything big and juicy like, you know, what they were wearing and stuff, because we're arguing, we've been arguing for 10 years if they have full plate armor in France, the Gallo Glass. We know the Kerns most likely didn't have full plate armor, but we're arguing if the Gallo Glass had full plate armor in France and stuff like that. Where was I? I'm in Ireland. When I said I'm Ulster. Connacht. Ah. No, my mother's side of the family is from Sligo, and my dad is a typical Limerick man. Although my dad's side of the family is kind of mixed between Limerick and Cork. And then my mom had a DNA test, and she almost came up 100% from the Sligo area, except for a random East European DNA in there. And it's not even like it's a recent DNA, like it's buried in there, so we have no clue how that DNA got in there. Then on my dad's side, it's so mixed, it's crazy. There was just a random Palestinian DNA in there and everything, like, and we don't even know how that got in there, like. Like my dad is like massive amount of DNA. I think 60% of it was Gael, and then the other 40% was everything that's ever been to Limerick. You know, if it's been in Limerick, my dad's side of the family's been with it. So my dad's family is a mixture of Cork and Limerick, like. So my dad's side of the family, very, very super mixed. Oh, insanely mixed. I'm talking about Norwegian, English, what have you, like. It's insanely mixed in that whole, you know, Limerick area, like. Oh, the old Dropkick Murphys. I do love the Dropkick Murphys, like. I suppose I could still go to that village from there. Do you know, I'm going to pop over here, go into that village. Daily goat, that's not bad compared to what I was being charged in. Who's this? Is that Warband? What Warband is that? Can you just... Oh, it's a Nord Warband. Can you just join random warbands in this, I wonder? Oh, the old Pogues. Also awesome. So the Kerns were precursors to the Gallo Glass. Kerns are cattle raiders. So originally, step away from the Gallo Glass for a minute. The Kerns cattle raiders go way back in time. They're also, by the way, the Kerns and the Fenian. I don't know if you know who the Fenian are, but in mythology they're referred to as the Fenian. But in all historical records I have seen, in real life, historically, they've been referred to as Kern. And they are the cattle raiders. Now, you have professional cattle raiders who are professional duelists, professional skirmish, and they're all in the bracket of professional Kern soldiers. Under them, then, you have other forms of cattle raiders. So when you say Kern, you're talking about a professional, well-dressed, well-armed professional cattle raider who's a professional duelist as well. So really up there when you say Kern. But Kern is also used as an umbrella term as well. So it's like soldier. You know how you've got like reserve soldiers, and then you have like infantry soldiers, like the Marines and Rangers. And you know what the Rangers are like. I know Marines will say they're not soldiers, they're Marines. But you know how the Rangers are like. You're not really a soldier until you're in the infantry, do you know? And the Kerns are kind of like that as well, from my interpretation, where you have, I was thinking Kerns more like mercenary. You do have Kerns that are mercenaries as well, and you've got them also as under the warband. So it's funny because it's such an umbrella term. So you do have Kerns that are mercenaries, and then per season as well, they can also go under a clan or a king group like. So they're in that foreign Irish thing, and that's why people are debating over the term foreign Irish as well, because sometimes Kerns can kind of go within that realm as well. Ugluk, which is young warrior, which is a cattle raider as well. So Ugluk is when you do your military service between the age of 14 to 25. But I've heard there's a play on words between Ugluk and Gallowglass, which is funny because Ugluks never become Gallowglass in the early and high Middle Ages. They become professional cat raiders. Some comments are being deleted there for some reason. Just keep an eye on that. Oh, expensive, but I want. Why'd you break my heart? This village breaks my heart. Oh, why do you do this to me? Also very expensive as well. Why you break my heart? I can't afford this kind of stuff right now. Well, I could, but then I wouldn't have any money. Bum bum bum. So basically, the Kerns are basically the professional light skirmish versions of the Gallowglass are in armor, and they hold the line. The Kerns, I don't think I've. Sometimes they can be put into formation. You do see them in formation from time to time, from what I've seen in the Tudor literature and stuff. But they seem to be very just put around light infantry. And when you're looking at battles, then if you look at the Battle of Stokefield, for example, they're put on the edges where the English longbow are putting in and stuff. So they're mostly on the when it comes down to big battles where you already have formation in the middle. They seem to be used on the sides, on the skirmish sides, and they use the hillish areas for ambushing and flanking and stuff. But they have no armor. They're always open to like long. If you have them running out in the open, they'll be torn apart by crossbow and longbowmen so quickly. It's crazy, like. I had some luck with my family from Mayo today. I looked into the family from 1887 in Canada, the sponsor. 1851. That's really, really interesting, alright, like. My favorite shield is the Targe, but you see, that's my favorite shield as well. Although it's called it, I feel like I'm the villain to that shield right now because people are, chucking it up online and saying, "Oh yeah, but it was used in this era." I'm like, no, it's not. It's make believe. It's not real. But it is actually my favorite shield as well. Like the Targe. I wish the Targe was in every era, but you can't. Well. I still like the round shield, the Viking round shield for martial art, and the buckler, martial art wise. But I just kind of like the look of the Targe. I think the Targe looks better. But feel wise for martial arts, I still prefer the Viking shield. I was thinking Kerns, like, where was I? Gallagos were effective heavy shock infantry, that Elizabeth. Yes, they were, because they also believe as well that the Gallowglass, you were the first ones to use the Highland charge, wasn't it? Bum bum bum. What a scary time to be alive back then. A shame as there was so much nature. Well, yes, it was like an alien planet from talking to Rachel, because some of the vegetation was bigger than what it is today. So if you were to go back in time, allegedly, it was like being on an alien's planet. Sometimes you can unlock a lot by looking at... Definitely would agree with that one. Right. I want one or two, maybe, or maybe I just want... Oh yeah, Ugluk. So instead of Ute, it would be Ugluk. This one is actually a good one because this would be the difference between a professional kern, if you were looking at it from an Irish perspective, and a because it literally has Ute in there, which is Ugluk in Irish. I wonder if this is more of the Welsh interpretation. I need to look into Welsh military history, especially of the early medieval. In fact, I'll just take two. Yeah, Becca. Have it all walk around. Sometimes you could do. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful roundhouse. You see, this is the one why I like this one so much is because it shows Irish houses. This is the type of house you'd see in Ireland, like during the High Middle Ages. I love these houses so much, like, and they're so warm, like so warm and cozy inside. You go inside. Sadly, I can't go inside this one. You can in Assassin's Creed. You can go inside, but you go inside there, and oh my God, it is so warm. It's crazy, like so cozy. I love them so much. And so breathable because of the what's it called on top? Oh, especially during winter, like. This is more of the Hiberno Scandinavian type. So when you see these, you see these from the early medieval period onwards. From the Viking Age onwards, you have Viking men that marry local women, and also have. Maybe this is more of a Norman type. I haven't seen what a Norman type house looks like. Oh, I mean Hiberno Norman type. Because this doesn't like Viking to me. So maybe this is more of the Hiberno Norman type they put in there. Very interesting though. Because also, obviously you have Hiberno Norman men that married local Gaelic women as well. So that's a proper Gaelic house. This is a traditional house. You knew walking up to this one, this would have been an old Gaelic family in the community. But then if you came up to a house like this, you know, they're one of the modern people. They'd have modern stuff in here, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know? And they'd have the old foreigners coming in here, do you know? An old tower house there. Well, of the High Middle Ages. Yeah, it's meant to be the old chieftain's home. The old Taoiseach. Look up and see the Taoiseach. Well, I suppose this wouldn't be a Taoiseach for this area. This is not the Taoiseach of this area. This is more of the Beau-Air. The noble's home. See what the noble has to say. The Beau-Air, the noble. Man, I love how they just randomly got things in here, but, you know. Class. Talk to the old Beau-Air. Which one's the Beau-Air? Bum bum. Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed that one on the war cries earlier. Yeah, I've gotten bits and bobs of the war cries, especially during the late medieval period. But I don't know if any war cries in the early and high Middle Ages. But I do know we had war cries in the late medieval period, and they end up getting banned. Bum bum bum. Looks like the perfect home. Just need the entertainment system. That's it. Well, your imagination was the entertainment system. That and the wife, or husband, depending on you know, who you prefer to be sharing a bed with, or as they said back in the day, your brother. Oh, that was just my brother. You know, or your sister. Oh, that just the sisters. You know, sisters sharing a bed together. So some people in the comment section just disgusted as good Christians, you know. Good Christians don't share the same bed with the same sex. My grandmother knew two men that lived in the same village up around the Sligo area, and they weren't related to each other. But she was like, but they were brothers and used to share the same bed. And as a kid, I was just like, oh, must be best friends. And then when I got older, I thought about what my grandmother was saying, and I was like, what? There were gay people in medieval art. What was it called? What was it called? Back in the day, just there were brothers and sisters. You know yourself, like. So when the police and the clergy go around the place, people were like, "Oh, just brothers." But I don't like. And I've said that to other people, and we're like, "Yeah, they were just kind of, a bit, queer, but they were brothers, brothers and sisters." What was it called? What was it? It looked very cozy. Oh man, thatched house. That was it. That's the one. Thatched roof. Thatched roof makes it so breathable, man. It's crazy, like. Also, the word. Oh yeah. I need to sit down and actually study the work rights. It was the same yesterday. Although I know all the basic stuff, when it comes down to a lot of the details, when it comes down to late medieval and Tudor era, I still need to get all those details memorized and learned. I'm grand for the early medieval period, but that's because of the work we'd be doing and stuff. Those weekends, it's easy, especially when you come off a weekend and you go around picking up the books and stuff, you can easily put in those details. But I've been dying to do 15th century enactment forever, like, and a lot of the lads down in Clare and stuff definitely want me to jump into their group. So yeah, I'd love to get back. Don't talk about my sister like that. Jim knows all about it, he does. Back in the old day, huh? But you wonder if people were living outside of marriage, but I suppose they had contracts and stuff, but yeah, if unmarried people were doing that as well, it's just my brother and sister. And when you went overseas, then everybody was uncle. Oh, that's just your uncle and cousin. They weren't related. It's just funny how the Irish used our words like that. And it's the same with fosterage as well. There's words for mother and father in fosterage in medieval Ireland as well. So, because there's no punishment. I've never come across any punishment for homosexuality. Homosexuality exists in medieval Ireland because people write about transsexuals and stuff. And you also have monks that write about transsexuality and that sort of stuff, and they do indicate that sort of stuff. But I've never come across any punishment or anything for homosexuality. But it's just interesting that back in the day of my grandmother and granddad and stuff, people would be like, "Oh, well, they are a bit queer now. They're brothers and sisters. They're brothers and sisters. Yourself." That's what they would say. And they would live in the same house. And don't get me wrong, it's not like they were kicked out of the community in, what was it called, up around the Sligo area where my grandmother was. But it wasn't always the case. Don't get me wrong. It's not always the case that homosexuals were a part of every community. You still have, what was it called, people kicking them out with villages and stuff. But at the same time, yourself, like, I agree 100%. The Targe is 16th century, not 13th century shield. The Gaelic were updated. Yeah, 100%, man. But you look at all the effigies, I haven't come across, and I've looked so far, and I haven't come across. Now, there's one piece of literature someone has, but other people are saying, I have to look at Caveman. I don't know if you're added into the group. If you're not, just go in and join yourself. The Wild Irish on Facebook. What was it? Yeah, Facebook. I put it in there because somebody had. I found evidence yesterday. Someone put an argument up 10 years ago, and I put it up to there now. And so far, people are disagreeing with it. But don't get me wrong. If it ends up being true, I'd support it. You know, if it was true, I want a Targe. You know, during the. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm the villain in this, but at the same time, if someone can put evidence towards the Targe during the 13th century, ooh, oh yes, you know, 100%, I'd support it. It's beautiful, like, you know. That stuff's been around even before the Roman days. Yeah. But it was more, I think it was more acceptable back in the Roman days. I think once you have Scandinavian influences and you go into, you know, the church, I mean the church coming to Ireland, not just insular Christianity. I'm talking about when the Roman church comes to Ireland in the High Middle Ages. I then think it becomes, you know, we just don't talk about that sort of stuff, you know. I got my brother The World. Oh, you lucky man! I still haven't read that one. I still have to get a hold of that book as well, man. Bum bum. I do Norse Gael reenactment. I dress Gaelic with a mix of Norse, but my main dress is the brat. Yeah, I love that stuff as well, man. Need to get more stuff like that. Bum bum bum.
Peace to you.
And also with you. No one's got any work here for me. It was grand to have a good old knockabout though. I wish I had more work though. Bum, 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 bum. Might pop back over here again. I have to rebuild everything again. See what Norse they have inside here. Oh, I've got no food. Heck. How much money am I? Oh, not bad. Get some butter in there. Some Kerrygold and some cheese. Oh, man, I haven't had good cheese in ages. Japanese cheese is diabolical. I wonder where we would be. I don't know. I don't think about those depressing things, Jim. Right, let's see what kind of... See, they have more of the Swedish style. She's meant to be the Swedish faction. Right. It's meant to be a Swedish... It's so funny, like the way they did this map. Let me pull back. So, because this is based more on a fantasy version of Europe, you've got the Celtic faction here, which would be in what is modern day Burgundy. Then you have between France and England just merged into one. Then you have Norway just randomly plonked here. Sweden randomly plonked here. Well, don't get me wrong, like Swedes and Mongolians, that makes sense. You do actually have fighting between, especially in Kiev, between Mongolians and stuff, so not too bad. But then you have Sweden and Irish going on, like, what the hell? Well, Welsh and whatnot. So I suppose that this is meant to be Norway, like, you know, I don't know. It's funny, like, I just find it funny, like. And then obviously the Roman Empire and all that stuff going on here, but yeah. But what you end up with is a Swedish village here and a Celtic village here. It's just funny, like. Don't get hardcover. Yeah, it's more on the collector side of things, isn't it? I'd get that hard, but if I was back home in Ireland, and it depresses me, I can't, like, but if I could, I would. Do you know what I mean? Bum bum bum. What was it? Are we going for food? I think we are. Oh, fuck it, I'll keep moving. I'll make it back over to the Celtic faction again. So once again, there's a massive lack of enemy. I think that's why I wanted to push over to the Irgaff. How much are we? 32, it's not too bad of a hit. Nobody's got work again. I'll go into the tavern there. My wife's making some chicken. Oh man, I want chicken wings. Kevin, is your wife a Latino? I want chicken wings. That's a good wife there. I want chicken wings. My wife just lies on the floor all day reading books. Funky. I wish they would change the bloody clothes in this though. I absolutely hate the male clothing in this. Female clothing is not too bad. Male clothing, like what the hell? I wish they would change it to cloaks. Like he's not the worst. Like I just that leather apron to start with, like Jesus. He's not too bad either. Not the worst. Worst of a bad lot, like, do you know what I mean? Your man on the left, what was it, left? Not bad. Man on the right, leather apron. Oh man, I hate that leather apron so much. Oh man, wouldn't you love that? Especially, I need to get a hold of a Latino woman. One of you guys are bound to be married to a Latino woman. Get her to make me these chicken wings I've heard about. Love to try them out. Does anybody have work around here? I came to this town to find work. Latina. Hello. No, she is a great cook for sure. One of the great grandmothers was from. Well, yeah, there you go. That's what you want. Lucky man. I dated, what was it? A girl from Aragon. And absolutely amazing woman. But yeah, off 1,000 miles an hour, like. Brilliant girl, though. Great memories, but yeah, she was running 1,000 miles an hour. Social-wise, like. Not actually physically running, like. Like she was so like I remember. Oh, I'm not even gonna go into it. She's just wild, you know. But brilliant time, fun time. Like, am I losing money? I'm gonna have to butcher you. Sorry, buddy. We're gonna fight him. Losers. When you see or hear of Bare Legs Irishmen, it is because they were. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Bum, 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 bum. Bare legs can also indicate as well just the fact that we're running around barefoot as well. From my understanding, like, oh, I need to get a bloody shield. I need to replace this spear with a shield. I love that. Oh, here. Engage. And you get a shield. Doing this kind of stuff is dodgy. But, see what I mean? Oh, I like his shield. This kid is actually cool. 1 second. I don't like his cloak though. Give me a second. I wish. Why does it have to be a fur? Why does it have to be a fur cloak thing going on? Like, why is it always fur cloaks in this? Fur cloak on fur cloak. Like, it's a fur cloak wrapped around his waist, with a fur cloak on top instead of tartan. Why can't it just be a tartan cloak or something? Do you know? Why is it fur on fur? I just don't understand that. Why couldn't it just be a tartan cloak and a tartan cloak? Tartan cloak wrapped around to make a kilt, and a tartan cloak over shoulders. I don't get it, man. When I lived in Texas, man, yeah, but then you're on the roller coaster. Once you get, from what I've heard, Spanish, and well, I've dated a Spanish girl from Aragon, like, and yeah, I can confirm it's a roller coaster. Great roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. Everyone should be warned about this. Even Latino women and Hispanic women know they are a roller coaster. Great roller coaster. But yeah. Where was I? Her mother got into an argument with Puerto Rico. Oh my god. And their Spanish rice recipe. Can you imagine how heated that must have been? No, my recipe comes straight from Spain. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't want to sound mean to this guy, but I also kind of don't want them. How do I disband? This. Yeah, I'm kind of not a big fan. I just don't like Imperial troops. They're just not cool, like, you know. Yes. Don't. My favorite troops in this are those kind of, I don't know what they're bloody called, but those Euro Knights that you get in the western side of this map, and the Euro Knights, the Celts, obviously, that Celtic faction, and the Swedes. The Swedes are alright. I do prefer the Norse faction right now. I have too much stuff. How can I have too much stuff? I barely have anything. How have I gone over my limit? Very well. I guess we're going slow. Where am I? Can I just go down to the village and sell my local stuff? Yeah, I'll just sell that here, I think. Yeah, that works. Yeah. But it's still over? Still over? Buy some butter? Yeah, that works. You guys need to eat more. My mom made a really good Spanish rice. Man, you guys need to make me a Spanish ricer. Do you play online, Bannerlord? I have never played online, actually. I need to touch the old online to know what I'm talking about. I'm going to make my way over. What the hell? Are they're starting to take ground over in Sweden. That's wild. And well, if you don't eat what she cooks, she'll likely get mad at you. No, eat what you're given and be thankful you got it. That's a fact. We used to have a bit of money anyway. What happened there? Hiding spot spotted. I don't like going into hiding spots in this one because it goes into this sneaky mode. I no longer like the sneaking in this. I prefer the old way. What you mean? Alright, I need 25 more men. Alright. Let's see. Well, you see. No, let's not do that. Okay. Actually, we're gonna cancel it. Yeah, 100%. Dun, dun, dun. Tartan cloaks are for win, dude. 100%. Yeah, I don't know why their fur fetish is wild in this. I don't know why people have fur fetish in the medieval era anyway. Like, what the hell? What's with bloody medieval stuff and people just randomly having the ugliest furs? Like, I don't know. I'm loving the Nordic faction riding and sailing down the Sea King's Play. Oh, I want to go up. Yeah, that's where I'm planning on going up to now. Which way do I need to go? Up to the other gaff. I wonder if it's cheaper or is there a way to jump onto a port? Can I jump into that port and then just sail off? I wonder. Does that have a port and I can just jump on a boat and sail away? I wonder. You're here. Is there no ports on that side? Except for that village, perhaps. Right, I'm gonna find out what the crack is. Looters, maybe. No. Oh, I'm gonna attack these looters. There we go, just keep going that. Fight me! They have an advantage over me? What the hell? Oh, I still need to get a shield as well. I keep forgetting to get a shield. Then I need to definitely have a go off online. 500 player events, Jesus. Is that just on PC? Because I'm on PlayStation right now, like. What's it called? Lord of the Rings. Oh, do I just have bowmen? Oh, I have gear, one man holding. Well, three lads holding the line. Then I go down then and it says I have the advantage. That was funny. Do you know what? Wait for you lads to get closer and then I'll do it again. But then these woodline is funny, innit? The lighting for this level is funny, like. Oh, dears. Go round again. I'm sure they can chop them up quick enough, especially if I get off my horse. That's easy enough. Chop, chop, chop. I do need to get a shield. Badly need to get a shield. I'm just not a huge fan of spears. Well, I like spears, like, but to use it in this game, I actually prefer just sword and shield. They recently have a PC only, I think. Yeah, PC is where it's at. It's just I use PCs out here and it goes up on fire. Okay. Not bad this time though. take a walk around. Can I can I jump off this port? No. Should be able to sell my stuff as well. Bum 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 bum. Perfect. Yeah, javelins are where it's at. Good old Irish, man. If I could just click over here, no. So I can't. Well, this is a symbol of a port here. I can't just hop into the boat and deck off. Is there any ports on this side? Or any ports on this thing whatsoever? Oh, there's a port here. But is that the same as well? Maybe I need to buy a boat first at an actual port. So because of that, I have to ask my. Oh, actually, there's a port symbol over here. So. Hopefully, I can get a boat. And then feck off. Somebody's got a job. What's his job? Oh no, I void those. I can't sell product ones. Hi. Getting the men to shield wall while getting a horse archer fire into the backs of the enemies and charge surrounding them. Yeah, that sounds like an amazing tactic actually. What's in the keep? You're not allowed in the keep, okay. And what? Okay, okay. How do? Oh yeah, go to the port. There we go. Oh, 6 hours. Oh, so I do have fleet. Okay, I have boats. That's what I'll do now, actually. Ah, interesting. This place looks cool now. Right. Yeah, I'll wait here for some time. Also, let me heal as well. Ooh, stop waiting. Is my ship's here, is it? Ah, I have a ship. I have a long ship. Right, I have a boat. I'm happy I have a boat. My boat doesn't need to repair. Manage fleet. Go to the town center. Trade. Let's trade about. Oh, right, I can still get more stuff. That's good. But I need more money first. You can use javelins in the Eastern Housecarl rules for reenactment. They have plastic heads. Yeah, they need to bring in, especially for Irish style, need to bring in more usage of javelins. Like, it's meant to be experimental archaeology. So, especially when it comes down to Irish warfare. Because both for Gaul Gael and for regular Gael literature, I've always heard, you know, them throwing in javelins first and then engaging in the enemy. So I do think we should bring in, for Ireland at least, bring in more there we go. My boat is off. Boating around the place. I want to go for 2. Norway! Ah, okay. Hopefully I don't get caught by an enemy. It's very slow, isn't it? Very slow moving. How much is that? 18? Ah, not too bad. Did these enemies have any Whoa, this boat's go so fast. How do I get my boat to go fast? Did these armies have any... I suppose there is to a certain degree of ranks and stuff. Especially after coin and levy. It depends on the era, but especially when the Gales switch over to with coin and livery, brought in okay. Brought in the old-fashioned what was it called? The company system and stuff into Ireland. My boat's very slow, but that's okay. Eats money, doesn't it? How's all these boats going faster than mine? Boat goes so fast. Maybe because I only have a few men. Maybe I need more men. You know, having 6 fellas isn't the greatest, like. Go this way. I want to... How am I doing for food? It's gonna be okay. Port's there, so we'll sail over to this one. And hopefully don't get killed. Bum bum bum. Yeah, having a long boat on the go with only 6 fellas. A lot of hard work, boys. And I haven't used that formation, I don't think so. I mostly always just default go shield wall in this so far. Bum, bum, bum. I'm level 11 at the old ship mastery. Oh fuck, oh fuck. They're way faster than me as well. For feck's sake, I was literally going places here. You want a €1.50? See what we can do. How do I bring this up? Okay, fair agreement. That's better than being blown out of it. Bollocks. What's with these blastering? If I fight, will I get the support of Uruguay? No, I don't. That ship is so close to me as well. What the hell? Surrender. Oh, you went by me, you fecker! The joys of Bannerlord early on. 43, that's so many as well. I really thought that other fellow would get involved. Well, that's sort of where I wanted to go anyway. I just don't have a party anymore. Very frustrating to me, but, you know, it is what it is. Party, it's just me. I still have my kit, that's the main thing. I still have my horse as well. I have my horse. Now I just want a shield and to put together another party. Oh, the joys, huh? What time are we on? 19? Okay, right. We're live, that's the main thing. This is the second party I've had completely wiped out of it, like. That's an interesting fortification, isn't it? Never actually looked at the development of Norwegian castles. How are we for money? Not good, but, you know, it's better than nothing. I have grain, like, so not too bad. Nobody has work in this game. Why is this game also lacking, like, a lot of work? People not do anything around these places? Oh, I suppose it's winter as well. Oh, it's going into summer, though. It says summer. What the hell? It's just lack of work around here. What the hell? Right. Well, these people all have work. Hopefully it's not the case of, gang needs recruits. Recruit troops. Fair enough. Tavern. Nobody's inside the tavern. I just want to have a look and see what the tavern looks like. Oh, an old-fashioned great hall. Fire in the middle and all. God, why do they have better North scale stuff than we do? Still very Norwegian though. Neil Bard. Place looks cozy. Let's get some proper Irish barbecue on the go. Just take over the place, piss off the Norwegians. Just kick down the door. Right, boys, this is it. Yeah, it's very Norwegian. Harpist though, I'm gonna rob his harp. Oh. He's always debated if that's in the medieval era. Oh, aye. Right. I just want to have a look around as well. Can't believe I lost my crew. Gonna have to put together another bloody warband. I need to get better clothes as well. Like, Jesus, look at the way I'm dressing. Need to get way better clothes. But then again, basic stuff around here as well. Very Norwegian. Pretty basic. But yeah, the housing and everything, it's you know you're in Norway, do you know? So I'm gonna gawk at some of the clothing. Clothing's very, very bland and basic, like. Which is grand, like. Don't want anything too wild. Interesting. Man, I don't know why they replace all the cloaks in this with just fur. Not a fan of it. I blend in well, yeah. I suppose I do. Right, we'll talk to these lads and see what work they have. Actually, I might actually go inside. I might actually walk up to them just so I have a better look around. Because I kind of want to gawk around this place because it's solidly Norwegian, isn't it? Hmm. Oh yeah. That's very, very big. It's a very, very big settlement. Bit of a wild outfit. It's the furs that always get me. I think the furs are wild. The rest of his outfit is really, really awesome, but they had to replace it with that fur. He didn't look Viking enough, as they say. You only look like a Viking if you replace your cloak with a furry jacket, just dressed like an animal. A beggar. It's funny because some of the other people have cloaks, which it would be the way it is. Not many people wore crosses at reenactments, but Norse Gael would have had both pagan armorings and Christian crosses. I believe in that solidly as well. Yeah. But Christchurch is in the middle of Dublin, man. Did you know? That's what I want to get a hold of. Tartan cloak. Tartan cloak with brooch. Whoa, where do you get that one? I want. That's solidly what I'm after. Anyway, I'm looking for work. And then I can buy the fancy stuff from around Norway. Houses are gorgeous. Not bigger. Ooh. Oh wow, his kit's class. I don't know why his what's it called? The collar. Bloody hell, it's all my name. Is a different color. I'm not complaining too much because at least that's 100% historically accurate. But I'm just wondering why there are two different shades of silver. Maybe tell the difference. Ooh, but his one's even more gorgeous. You can see the brass. But didn't they use the same one? His kit is so nice. I literally just want to copy and paste this. It's so good. That's class. The helmet now, like, oof. Yeah, some of the kit in this is so, so nice.
Well now, stranger. Peace to you.
Peace.
What is your...
Yes, as you heard out, this has been a rough week. I've lost a lot of good lads recently. I haven't had much luck replacing them. I need men who understand how things work in our business. That's not always easy to find. I could use bandits and looters. They usually know their stuff, but if I take them in as prisoners, they'll just spill away as soon as I get the chance. I need volunteers. Look, I know that blah 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 blah. I just wanna I'll find your recruits. Right. What's she looking mostly for? Right, I'll actually read the job quest. Because, you know, I skipped what the hell she was saying. I'll give her 7 recruits. And I have 4. So I have to get more. Roger. Right. Yeah. The problem is as well is that people look at the modern interpretation of
Welcome,
it,
stranger.
the
Peace
neo-pagan
to you.
interpretation of it.
What is your name?
My name is Tig. Because there's meant to be allegedly a massive difference between heathen, pagan, and Christian, allegedly. That when a person is referring to you as heathen, they're referring to you as a denier of Christ. But then when they're calling you a pagan, they're referring to you. But it's funny because of the way they use language in England between, and I have to sit down and actually look at the Anglo-Saxon, because the Anglo-Saxons are the ones that chuck a lot of this pagan language at the Eemers in York and stuff. Non-believer. Do you deny Christ, Jim? Are you a heathen? But yeah, there's meant to be a difference between a pagan, a heathen, and a Christian. Pagan is somebody who believes in Jesus Christ, but also believes in all the folklore in between as well. A Christian is somebody who allegedly doesn't believe in the folklore and stuff. But, you know, I put that in the alleged file, especially with insular Christianity. And then we have heathens who just outright deny Christ. I heard you may need someone. Okay, everyone's like, you need more troops. I need to make money. Right. Is there any warband around that I can just join? How do I make money? I bought a business so I wouldn't have to worry about this kind of stuff. Looters of 7. I only have 4. I should be able to. I keep forgetting to pick up a shield. It's about balanced. Do you guys have any weapons or anything? Well, I guess I'll have to weaken them down first. Where are they? There they are. Throws rocks at me now. There. Come on, tree rock.
You bastard!
Die, you bastard. A very loving relationship between the two of us. Rocks aren't really penetrating me though. Is he dead? Are you okay, buddy? I didn't mean to hurt you. I think he's dead, lads. I think I went a bit too rough there. Shit. We'll gallop around to get another kill off them. Irish monks right about fighting the Vikings. Or am I gone? Back into the sea, while the English right. Right, they were being punished by God for their sins. Oy. Come on, hop off. Put up my sword and start chopping the food over. Wait, my boy's down. You stop hitting me, will ya? I got one saber. We lost one boy there. Your shield. If you're dead now, I'm taking your shield. There we go. Boys. You did. He's dead. Your man's dead. Nice. We have a one warrior anyway. And we'll take these boys off the cell to make a wee bit of money. It's a pity your man died. It's very sad. But yeah, it is what it is. Ooh, what about legendary leather shoes? Is it legendary, is it? Oh, it is legendary. That was a random one. Nothing special though. Bam bam. There we go. There we go, boys. Bam. I think there is views from filmmaker McCrivcon that try to make out that it was a punishment by God, but I think the Emer is very much in the perspective that these are just hostile enemies. And I think that's why the Irish Confederation are so quick to push them out of it. Bum, bum. I'm just going to sell this stuff for a wee bit more money. Shit. Maybe I shouldn't be giving away my food like that. 1 second. Go for food. Bum, bum. Push that back. There we go. Boot there. Right. No, definitely need men. Recruit. How are we for money? Oh, 300 is grand. 50. That was square. Oh shit. That would square me away. Nord Warrior. Viking Age ends in Ireland in 410. In Ireland, while in Norway, it ends around 4. That whole term Viking Age is funny, caveman. Like I was saying that yesterday, where we're doing our best to try to, clean slate it. And I always get asked, okay, so when did they stop Viking raids? Like, when did they stop? And it's like, in Ireland, they never stop committing piracy. They just, like, even from... And even on top of that, even people, historians, when they're trying to clean cut, say, okay, this is the start of the piracy in Ireland in around 793. Going a Viking, as they say. There's always people finding earlier sources of people committing piracy before 793. And even foreigners committing piracy into Ireland. Like, there's attacks all the way by the men of Luckland in the annals, going way back to the 3rd century AD, with the men of Luckland invading Ireland, the king of Luckland, allegedly. And that's in the 3rd century. So some faction, some warband in Norway invading Ireland in the 3rd century during the Rome or Britain era, It's funny, like. And England in 1066, but the English... Yeah. Oh, it's the same with everything. It's the same thing when I'm trying to describe Irish history, and people are like, 150 centralized kingdoms. Why can't they unify like the English? It's like, because it's king groups. It's a completely different system. And it's funny because no one looks at Japan and thinks that Japan is backwards. Never, like, Scottish clans like the MacDonalds, MacLeods can trace their lineage back to the... Yep, they can, alright. Alright, grab these two lads. 120, that's not bad. I could probably chuck in another Northern Warrior. He'd definitely come in handy. There we go. And I'll go raiding for a small bit just to get that stat up. How are we for money? 16, not bad. As long as I get these looters. What are you running away for? Hopefully there's a lot more looters up around here. Why don't they get with the 21st century? Yeah, I know, right? But should we be gone back to all these colonist wars now, like? I need to get shields. I'm in Norway and I don't have a shield. That's what I'm gonna buy next, is a bloody shield. I'm just gonna go back down again and buy up a shield. It's wrecking my head not having a shield. Of course, everyone has their blocks up straight away. Where were you throwing that? Second one throwing at me. Oh, you got me with the second one, like. I might get these guys to push out. Why don't I ever use my bloody javelins? I have javelins and I never bloody use them. Oh, missed it. I want to practice doing that. Oh, slightly off. Need to start using my javelins more. Nice one, lads. Good chopping. Got my warband up and going again. And they already want to level up. What do we have? Axe warrior or spear warrior? Is there a preview button I can press? Oh, I like both. I like both. Oh, actually, I like this Axeman slightly more, but we'll put down the base foundation first. Spear. Nice little gambeson jacket. Not bad, although people will be bitching. Does your wife not love you? Why did your wife not finish the gambeson here? Does your wife not like you? Sir? Why does your wife not like you? Huh? And what's crazy is she did it in the weirdest way possible. She made this part, but she didn't finish the job here. Why couldn't she connect? Like, did she think it was funny? Sir? And why do you have fur on top here? Why didn't you... Like, you have the cloak here. And you got the fur on top. Sir, who dressed you? Your wife doesn't love you anyway, because your wife definitely didn't dress you. And why do you have two belts? Sir, what's going on here? I got some Ugluk. Yeah, it's interesting you have younglings, which we would call in Ireland the Ugluk. Nord warrior or huntsman, so bowman. Ooh, I need to sit down and actually, do you know what? That's what we're going to do. What are shorts do I need to get done? Do I need to get another short done? I can't remember what short I need to get done. Yeah, I need to sit down and actually learn bowman in Irish. Bum bum bum. Viking Age is a funny one. Like, when does it start? Like only when they attack Christian churches or Germanic or Scandinavian raiders who believe in Odin. Yeah, we do our best to try to be as clean cut as possible. Because, like, it's funny. Because we use historical battle dates to try to age half of this stuff. And it's like 1014, 1030, and 1066. We're in the high Middle Ages now, like, do you know? Like, even the whole thing of centralization in Ireland, and, like, by the time we get into 1014, we have that kind of blur between Maelshockno I into Brian Brew, where we're now looking at more Charlemagne-style kingship. Like, even the fact that Brian Brew refers to himself as Emperor of the Gael. But that's very high Middle Age ideology, you know? And even the way that Brian Brew is trying to centralize the war bands, you know, pushing it that way. And then it's not long until we have the Crusades and stuff. So it's funny how we look at it from a historical date, you know, bang, this is the end of the Viking Age, when it should be that blur between going from the early medieval period into the high Middle Ages, do you know? Where you see the Irish bringing in more Charlemagne ideas. Because to me, that's when you start to go into the high Middle Ages, is where, you know, you have Brian Brew bringing in these high, you know, ideas of what it is to be in the high Middle Ages, do you know? But instead, we're kind of like, boom, 1014. And then you got people get very upset when, you know, the Irish got to, you know, whatever age is next before the English, when really it was a blur between everybody. You know, there is no like 1066 and that's the end of it, you know? It's funny, like. I think when people say Viking Age, they mean the attacks on the monasteries and the startup of the Normans. Yeah, very, very true. Like, How many am I for bows? Well, I need more bowmen, so that's the end of that one. Dry food. Oh, I feel like Olaf the Peacock now. I have to put together a Norse force before I can go home. No mood for mercy. It was a hard-fought battle, and amongst the fallen is our young, good Nordish boys. Our Ugluk, our young Fenian were killed, who kept his commander's spirits up during hard times. Our men's faces are grim, as they go out and collect the wounded on both sides. You can tell if they have their own way, and many or injured enemies will be brought back to your camp still alive as prisoners. Demand your man, respect the customs of war, and tend to those who grieve. Increase reputation of a merciful warrior. Remind your men that war is war, and Ugluk knew the risks, and prisoners bring ransom. I need those prisoners. Tell your men that you can avenge your comrades as you can see fit. Cut off their heads, or bring their heads to the next meal. I need the money for the time. 350 though. No, I need the money for the time being. Decrease. They're not happy. They're not happy. Well. Boo-hoo. Give those fellas over though, and rebuild my military force up again. Or I could just recruit more. I can give her shitey ones though. And what else do I need to do? What was it called? Port Keep area. Oh yeah, trade. I need to pick up a shield as well. That was the other one. Magnus Barelegs was raiding in the Irish Sea after 1066 and Western Isles of Scotland, lasting until Kingdom of Isles until 1272 during the time. Yeah, this is why Dave Swift doesn't end the Viking Age until 1250, after the Scottish Norwegian War. No, that's finished up. But the problem I have with that is interpretation. The thing is then, from my view, is that people would still see, there's two problems I have with that one. First off is the fact that people would still see it then as the early medieval period. That's why I'm very hesitant in using the word Viking Age. Second one being is that the peak of the economic golden age is over by then, do you know? After, what was it, 1203, well, definitely after, sorry, not 12, 1103, slavery is over, like, so, like, the peak of the economic golden age is over. Plus, the thought, even before then, had changed after Clontarf. In my opinion, although there's not a clean cut, this is the end of the Viking Age in Ireland. At the same time, after Clontarf, you do have changes that start to get put in place. Like those thoughts of, you know, Charlemagne's ideas of centralization doesn't fully get committed into the Irish system. But at the same time, those ideas are starting to take root. The second thing as well is that you start to have pushing more for the reform of the church from insular Christianity to more Roman Christian Christianity in Ireland. So more connection with the church. So you start to have those reforms of the church happening, starting from 1030 when Sitric Silkenbeard starts to bring in reforms. Then on top of that as well, you then have what was it called? The Crusades start up. So a lot of Hiberno-Scandinavians, or at least people living within the cities, start to go off crusading. And those crusaders do come back to Dublin and stuff. So, you know, you're looking at more of that reform. High Middle Ages, you know. It doesn't look like the peak of the golden age of the Viking Age in Ireland. You know, looking at a very kind of High Middle Ages, you know. of Ireland, and even the church. So Romanesque structures start to come into Ireland at that point as well. We could see in Clonmacnoise and stuff, and other Romanesque ideas are coming in because the McCarthys are bringing in architects from Germany even before the arrival of the Normans. Then you have people arguing, oh, well, the farming and the castles didn't change. I don't know about farming, but the whole idea of castles were in Ireland, but we haven't proven that they were using Moat and Bailey castles at that point. We haven't proven. But, you know, if they have German architects on the island, and we have a massive push that they were Moat and Bailey castles out in the O'Connor territory, there's a good chance that there is. So I would still wrap up the Viking Age, although it's not clean cut. I would still start to wrap up the Viking Age after 1014, because that's where you start to see them tidying up everything. Like, interesting design. But it's the shield I'm after for a change. I just need a shield, really. Oh, I'm after that one as well. Reinforced axe. It's costly though. I don't have money for that. I like stone walls and thatched roofs. Yeah, same. Ah, that's interesting. Worn kite shield. What do they have? A lot of shields that go in with the old. How much is that one? Ooh, we don't have money for that right now. God, some of these are very expensive. What is this one? Little round shield. I just want a cheap one. You don't have to go too wild. Huh. It's an interesting design. Any enemy I could just go out and attack and just get a shield off them. Right. Let me go and find enemies that actually just give out shields. Also, bomb. Yeah, we're done. Yeah, I kind of, Jim, I do still prefer the Celtic settlements over in this region here more than the Norwegian, but I do like them. I just slightly prefer our lot way a bit more. And we're off. Actually, no, I can finish up that quest. Recruit troops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking at right. Bum. Where's your one at? Do you know what? We'll just go straight up to her. Yeah. Visit. Let's see if she just takes my Ugluk off me. The Connacht province flag has a... Yeah, it does, doesn't it? German eagle. And its connection to the Holy Roman Empire during the 13th century, I think, are close to it. Yeah. God, I got told this the other day, and I cannot remember what the bloody connection is. That's another one I have to look into. Let me look into the Irish bow again, because I bloody have to look up the Irish again. I might make a short to that later. Because when I make the short, because I have to say the word 1,000 times, I don't forget the word afterwards. Bum. How many does she have? What? Because she said 7, or is it just 7 good men? Dun. Quest. Recruits. Has a gang told you that she needs recruits for her gang? She asked You to recruit 7 looters or oh, right. Here was I just chopping them all up. 1 second. Shit. No, stop there. Right. Party. Okay. So I need 7 now. Instead of chopping them up and making a profit. What you need for the other one? Actually, why did I even do that? They say Ireland was fractured, but the Holy Roman Empire was way more. Yeah, but it wasn't fractured. It was in king groups and stuff. But you know, as you said there, so was the interpretation of the Holy Roman Empire. But the Holy Roman Empire also functioned together with their meetings and stuff. But it's true, like everybody, it's feudalism. You know, it's the medieval world. Faction fighting existed in the whole world at the time. You know, it's only after the 1800s, especially after more centralization in the world, which led to way more poverty, that you stop it. And it's funny because when you decentralized, there's more equality. But then there's more faction fighting. But then when you centralize everything, even if you were to, bring in communism or socialism to share it out, there's still more poverty. It's weird. Well, it's not weird. I know why, but there's not enough resources in the world. It's just the hard truth. And the problem is you got other areas where there is a lot of resources, which you can see in the Roman Empire. But then those areas, from time to time, just want to be complete psychos and not share amongst everyone else equally. So it causes an entire strange, dynamic. Yeah, survival of the fittest. That's what it constantly turns into. But you have places like Britain, Ireland, what was it called? Egypt, that produces enough food for everybody. But what you have then is competition. Like even in the European Union, what happens? The Germans politically shut down the Irish farmers. They constantly they're finding new ways to screw each other over in the European Union. Then you've got places in Russia, another area, where there's not enough food, there's not enough resources for everyone because so many areas are nomad areas, which they have settlements built, which naturally you shouldn't be building settlements in. And then you have America, same problem again. There's too many people. Although there's enough food for everybody, when it comes down to healthcare and all that stuff, that's where it gets very, very tricky. And also, as people pointed out, a lot of greed in there as well. So, some areas plan for eventual disaster, so we can't provide for everyone. Yeah. But even when you get situations, so the Roman Empire proved that during the period of Hadrian, right? So Hadrian was able to do his job, the only person ever in history to do his job in Europe, in my opinion, and go everywhere to make sure everybody, because he used to be in the military, and he retired from the military to become emperor, right? And so he went everywhere to make sure the paperwork was perfect in the whole realm of the Roman Empire at the time. So he traveled the whole of the empire to do that constantly, and he's one of the greatest emperors of all time. And he was already part of a massive winning streak of emperors. They had the 5 great emperors at that point, with Hadrian being at the peak of it, in my opinion. And he proved that there was enough resources in the empire to feed everyone. Why is it today that we're in situations where there's too much poverty going on? Why? Because there's too much greed. Constant greed. But I'll probably fall over a window later on. I'm not suicidal, by the way. What's it called? Shield clash. Yeah, go for that one. Right, I need looters for that one, which I didn't read. And then for this one, Did I pick up the new request off your one? I thought I picked up your request from one. Maybe I just didn't like it. Oh yeah, she just kept telling me there wasn't enough. Right. Talk to her.
My greetings to you.
He probably saw all things as small folk eye. Yeah. You get that proper Roman nose in there. You don't have enough troops. How many troops does she have? Want? Fair enough. I'll get back to you later, so. And I'll just stay here for a small bit just to bring up my health and make sure to wait for it to become daytime again. Yep, there we go. Keep. Can I go inside the keep? No? No, you're not allowed. Roger that. Guys, just like Norway, where you got loads of land not being used. Right. We'll go out and pick a whole load of fights again. Ooh, Sea Raiders. This is exactly who I want to fight. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. That's exactly what I want to fight. Take her stuff as well. Bannerlord. What about Bannerlord? Nice try, Brigand. Surrender or die. Yeah, let's attack. Dun, dun. Look at my gorgeous little military. My Viking warband. I have a Viking warband. I thought I'd end up with a Norse Gale warband, but my Irish have all died off. So I have ended up with a classic Norwegian Viking warband, huh? Hopefully later on we can get some more Gale in here as well, so we can get back to an old-fashioned Norse Gale action. I saw someone in New York City who had a very defined Roman nose. He looked like someone out of The Godfather. Yeah. 1 second. Can I put them into shield wall? No, you can't. Yeah, X.
Form a shield wall!
Just see if they can waste their javelins. I'm very close though. Oh, I think they wasted all their javelins. Put them back in line again. Hopefully I'll get their stuff afterwards. There we go. Makes it more digestible. There we go. Still alive though, you guys spear into his butt. Do you know what? Engage.
Move to enemy!
Hopefully they give me a bloody... Do you know what I actually do want is a bloody shield after this. Time for shield for ages. Don't. Oh, don't want to hurt my horse, but it did. Oopsies. There we go. What's there someone still stuck in there? Oh, there's boys are still going. Sorry, swinging at the ground. There we go. Happy days. Who's left? No one? That was a good game, guys. Good game. Oh.
We've been blessed.
Oh, aye, sir. So we got Sea Raider out of that one. Looters. Need to rob someone else. Need to get that to 7, and then we're sorted. Why is there only 2 there? Thought we had more. Oh, some of you got killed, didn't you, you bastards? What was it called? I wonder how people back in the day dealt with post-war trauma. Did they have the same? PTSD, just ignored. Alcohol. Do you want some more alcohol? I think that's how they were dealing with most of it. It does actually, believe it or not, PTSD does pump up in the literature. You know, even during the battlefield, people suddenly having a mental breakdown and running into the forest. So, yeah, it is there. It is solidly there. You can see it in the literature. People suffering from PTSD, and even in Irish literature, it is popping up in Irish literature. But yeah, a whole load of alcohol. That's how they were dealing with it, and beating the wife, obviously, you know, because this was, you know, just a horrible era. But on saying that, I think Buddhism really helps in Japan for people who had PTSD during the high and late medieval period of Japan. So I don't think it's the worst, but, you know, obviously not the greatest. Finally, and it's a good shield as well. Yeah, there we go. That's 100% what I was after. That's more like it. I just wasn't a spear guy. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Yeah, that's definitely not. I don't have anyone else in my party right now. I'd love to see a focus on more in history. On the old PTSD stuff for sure, like. But if you didn't believe in drinking, what did you do? Yeah, that's interesting, alright. Yeah, religion could be a good outlet, especially in the early medieval period. Because it's not the only one where people are, you know, faced with demons that they will go into the church. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe people found escapism in church. Because it's interesting, because the form of meditation that we know today through prayer doesn't actually appear first in Buddhism. It actually first appears, and obviously you have Buddhism meditation first appears in about 400 BC, right? That's why we first see Buddhism and Buddhism meditation techniques start to appear from the Middle East, you know, from India to the Middle East. And then what's very interesting is around the 13th century is when the Knights Templars take on meditation and prayer with the beads. So they would go into a trance of praying, you know, to relieve them of their sins. That's interesting. You know, that form of meditation is there, especially for men who would naturally get PTSD. You know, to allow their brains to digest the violence that they have seen with their own eyes. And it's definitely like meditation and prayer that the Knights Templars were practicing is way, because they weren't allowed to take alcohol because of their stuff. And so meditation and prayer is a deep thing. So they developed the rosary beads. So the beads that you see the Buddhists have as well, that first appeared with the Knights Templars. You know, so definitely very, very interesting. But if you don't believe in dream, I don't know if any herbs are used like that. Anyway, right, I'll start finishing up there because I need to get my work done. I'm working on life in the early 13th century Ireland for my presentation on Patreon this Sunday night for you guys. Also, as well, it's Friday as well. Bloody hell already. I have to do a live stream tomorrow with the lads around 9 a.m. and that will be the clans and families. So we'll do the clans and families tomorrow. Is that squared away? 1 second. Let's see if that's already booked. If that's already booked in, that'll be handy for us, because then I don't have to go and do it. But yeah, tomorrow it is clans and families. Yeah, 13th. Yeah. So tomorrow, which is going to be your 12th, it's my 13th, we'll cover the old clans and families and stuff, and we'll square that away as well. And that's Irish, your Irish clan and family, and that's tomorrow night for you guys, for tomorrow Friday night. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks very much for all the support, guys. If you want to further support the channel, obviously you can donate here. I just want to thank you guys again for the donations that you had given me earlier. God, that was absolutely worth a ton to me. Like, giving out like to Mac Devon for that one, because God, going into Christmas, that means a whole lot to me for sure. Especially with the amount of books I have to buy, because I have to get a hold of, what was it? The Gaelic World. That book I need to get a hold of. Fergus Cannon's book. And what was it called? Dave Swift's book on the Gallowglass and the Isles of the West. And there's one other book. Oh yeah, I want to get a hardback copy of Kearns and Gallowglass. Yeah. But geez, but even on top of that, lads, the support you've been giving me so far is absolutely amazing on top of that, and it does mean a ton to me. Even coming on here and commenting away and talking away. Caveman, once again, thank you so much. Not only for giving me a whole load to talk about, but also every single time I kind of trip up there just to fix me and put me back in line. Absolutely worth the world to me, of course. Jim, thanks very much for all the support as well, man. It means an absolute ton to me, especially trying to keep the whole conversation in line. Not only do you keep yourself in line, but there's a few times now where you've kept dickheads in line as well. But yeah, Slán thanks very much for that, lads. It means the world for me. Thanks again, and I will see you. Bye, 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 bye.